hell? I was watching Mr. Rogers the other day.
What? Why?
Because I was trying to see if Drayton was interested, and he was.
Oh, that's
like,
right. You do have a kid. My bad.
Mr. Rogers was so dope. So first of all, they have a. Anyway, welcome to Somebody's Cousins, y'all. Well, we just be talking about the most randomest stuff. But
absolutely,
welcome. I'm a unicorn. Yes, I'm a unicorn. I'm Faith, and this is my sister, the other half of Somebody's Cousins. Tamita, just say hi to the people.
Hello, people. Welcome. We have a great conversation for you tonight. Listen, these conversations are shit we've seen on the internet and what we think about it. Okay, so you're in for a treat.
Yes, you are. Two Black Xennials giving you our perspective, helping you to understand and navigate like what the hell is going on online and around in the world for real too. So anyway, sorry, because we just got all off on a tangent right in the beginning, and I always say you can't go off on a tangent on a podcast. It's impossible. We're here to talk. But anyway, I don't even know what we were talking about just now.
We were talking about a lot of stuff, but okay, so since we talk about stuff on the internet, right? Like what happened on the internet, I feel like it's like obvious that we talk about what's his name? KevinOnStage, because KevinOnStage actually has a show now called what is it? I Saw It on the Internet.
I saw it on the internet. I'm about to pull that up right now. Yes.
And we're gonna talk about a lot of things that we've seen on the internet, people.
I'm so proud of him because I love the story that went behind that in terms of like how he said this could be on TV one day, and it actually he made it happen. It's not like it just happened out of nowhere. This guy's one of the most consistent and intelligent people. And see, that's what you don't be realizing about these comedians. They are super intelligent, and he's definitely one of those people.
Absolutely. Because I feel like I never watched Churchy, but I just feel like, you know, it's just something. He's a great content creator because he always talks about how he uploads his videos every day and he's not gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? He's been doing it for years. He hasn't missed a day, and so I feel like this. I Saw It on the Internet is just a fitting show. So I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
We might have a delay.
Yeah, probably. That's okay though. Look, we're on the internet. It is what it is. But yeah, he's saying right here that like, you know, you should, you know, believe in yourself basically, because those who believe in themselves and those who don't are both right. Or I said it wrong, but you know what I'm saying. If those who say they can and those who say they can't, they're both right. And so why not be the person who's championing for yourself? What?
Absolutely. And that actually is a theme of all of the things that we're going to probably talk about today, because, you know, these people that we're going to talk about, especially Blueface, okay, there was something that he saw that he wanted to do and did, right? Casanat as well. I mean, I don't know if you heard about that show, not that show, but that little, I'm going to call him a little boy because he's like 18. But he was online playing his games, and then one of the bigger creators like sent him some subscribers, and then it was like his mother started like cussing him out and like put him out the house midstream or whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to I Show Speed, and I don't know if you know who I Show Speed is, but he's like that same thing happened to him, and he actually got to meet I Show Speed. All the streamers came together. That's the one thing I can say about streaming.
His mom threw him out.
She was like, you gotta go. She was cussing him out online and everything while he was on camera. And it was right when he got those subscribers. So he was getting all excited or whatever. But like I said, all the streamers came together. He done met I Show Speed, agent who is part of AMP with Casanat, has offered him like a brand deal and stuff like that. So he's going to be all right. But I know his mother is probably kicking herself at this point now. But the theme was believe in yourself, believe in your dream. If you got a dream, do it. You know what I'm saying? Do your shit. So I that's why I think that KevinOnStage is, you know, he's in our age range, obviously, too. So I think it's, you know, it's bomb for him. But that is just a common theme across the stuff that people are here doing. Like Streaming University started as the idea in Casanat's head. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
So.
And don't let nothing, to just piggyback on what you're saying, don't let nothing or nobody tell you that you can't make something happen, because there's more than one way to do it. And that's one of the things, I know that I'm kind of getting off topic here, but like,
you can't go on a tangent.
All right, on a podcast, it's an idea, I'm going to follow it. That's one of the things that I kind of like hold space for, not fear, but just kind of like, when I'm thinking about like YouTube strategies and stuff, we've grown accustomed in like the systems that we operate in our cultures, we've grown accustomed to like going somewhere to get the information that is like, you know, sound and solid, and I want a good, nice solid plan. And it's like those things have worked for those people, but let's not lose our ability to like create new ways. Because sometimes I'd be like, I love like Think Media, and I think they have some great information. And other channels too, who kind of like usher the YouTubers along to say like, here's how you should start your channel, and here's what works. But I think I've also experienced sort of like an unhealthy amount of like trying to follow too many people's advice, too many sort of like experts' advice at once, too many different people, and they say don't do that. But the idea is like, well, another way must exist also. Like, this is what has worked for them, and they're sort of like selling that, right? But like, we have to still keep our curiosity and wonder intact to like try new things that could also work, and then you could be the one going back and telling somebody, hey, you know, because you know, it came from an idea that they were saying like, oh, there's all these different types of formats, right? It's man on the street, or there's podcast style, or there's this or there's that, and I'm like, and there's hundreds that haven't even been invented yet. Somebody might start something, you know what I mean? Like, that's not like, I get like those are the things that have happened in for decades before us, but also now it could be something else. Now that we can take our cameras anywhere with us, now that you know, like we have AI, like, so another format could exist too that could be popular, and then people might start to copy that. But if you know, if we're always just focused on what's worked for other people and let me only try that so that I don't fail, then
That's funny.
we're just
I agree with you on that, because we were talking about authenticity the last podcast episode, and it's like that's what the world is craving right now, right? Be your authentic self. But a lot of people don't know if they're being their authentic self, because I watched you know, I'm always watching a podcast, but I watched Dave and Donnie today on Social Proof Network, and well, no, not net. Is it network? Social Proof podcast. Anyway, they were talking about.
Yeah, they better go
But
ahead with
okay,
this.
so let me finish saying it then, because there must be a reason why I said that. When I watched the episode, Donnie went over all the things that they've done together, right? And we know that they've done a lot together, right?
A lot.
Business, coaching, podcast, home real estate, and whatever, right? Apparently somebody had gotten in the comments and was like saying that, oh, they've got something from a book. And it's like, our people don't read. That's the problem. This is like, well, obviously he read to get it out of the book. But then Dave even called him out and was like, which book do you think I got it from? Because what? But Donnie was like coming in the comments like, nope, we did this. Oh, and we have a book club every month. So, you know, like he was like, oh, I didn't know you had that. But the whole point was, you know, they were talking about copying, right? They were talking about how Dolly Parton, because they started with Dolly Parton, and they were talking about how Dolly Parton did I Will Always Love You, right? And then Whitney Houston did it over. And a lot of people who never heard Dolly Parton's version that probably are walking around right now don't even know that Dolly Parton wrote that. You know what I'm saying? Or sang it first before Whitney Houston. But you can look at that in a lot of stuff. Beyonce redid the Before I Let You Go. Frankie Beverly and Maze, which I'll say, I like Beyonce, but girl, we still like the original one. But cool. But anyway. But the point is, like, people, you can look at a lot of music and see the remakes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so they were talking about, when does it pass the point of like flattery, and when does it become like theft? Because you got other people out here that are just like copying people, you know, explicitly saying exactly what they say. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I've seen those.
And there's a certain demographic of people that are doing that. But but no, the whole point was, you know, you should be inspired, but you should not copy. And so I sent you a reel today with this girl. She's I want to say she's a business coach like Donnie, and she kind of had done a thing that reminded me of Sora, but it kind of was like her just like telling people what's wrong with their content and stuff like that. And Donnie was like, I wish I had that idea. But she was talking about how so many people are kind of copying off of her, and they're using the same backgrounds and the same you know. And she's like, you're supposed to get inspired by something and then put your own flavor on it. She didn't say it like that, but that's what I got out of it. But that's how I've always thought too. Like, I don't want to copy nobody. I can take inspiration, but I'm not going to do the same thing you're doing. But I do notice when I have the shiny object syndrome, right? Somebody will be like, 10,000 steps a day every day. And I'm like, oh, that fits with self-care revolution. I can do that. And then I'm like, girl, you're already working on A, B, C, and D. I've learned to be like, get out of there. Get out of there. That's not yours.
Get out of there, lady.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't do that. And then she was also talking about people who give people credit for the stuff that they did. Like if they got it from somebody else, like people just kind of, so it's a fine line between, you know, I feel like you just have to pull yourself back. Like you have to know, this is what my idea is. What is influencing it versus am I copying this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah, and having original thought, supporting original thought. No, I totally agree with everything that you said. And I did see that. So I had seen that reel maybe like maybe yesterday or the day before, something like that, and I loved it because I think, you know, there's a couple of things out there like Nano Banana 2 on Google that are free, but you can only produce like 30-second clips, which I don't know, maybe you can only do that on Sora too. But, you know, if you go in there a few times or, you know, hundreds of times and reprompt, because I used to do that with Sora.
right.
If you go in there and get what you want, you can build up you know, a few reels of it and then combine them all together and, you know, have like a pretty substantial like little video. But I think that is perfect. This is the way AI should be used. I totally agree with Donnie too. It's like, why would you go and do the exact same thing? But there's a lot of people who just do not want to be original. It's not even like they don't want to be original. I feel like they don't know how.
So I think so, because the other thing they were getting into is like, okay, you have an idea, right? You only really need to take somebody from A to B. That's really it. You know what I'm saying? Like she pointed out that a heart surgeon is not going to do anything for your feet, anything else. They're going to focus on the heart, right? And so I resonated with that because I was like, yeah, like you can use AI to figure out A to Z. But why do you need to do that? Because what she pointed out was that it's going to tell on the part you really don't know eventually, because she used the example of you're a physical trainer and you got a person who just got a little bit of back fat and maybe they got a little gut. You know what to tell them. You know how to, you know, you can figure out something to tell them to lose weight, but then you get somebody that comes in with a wrist injury. I think she said a wrist injury and a knee injury. They can't do the same exercises. Now you got to know what the fuck you're doing. And that part is going to tell on you or whatever. So she was like, all the people copying this one girl, because she saw that one first and then she started to see other people doing it. And she was like, there's no way all of them are that pristine, because the AI makes you look like you know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And if you get in there and you don't know what you're talking about, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to really, really stay in your lane pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like know when, like for me, when I'm using AI, I'm using it, but then I also kind of know when to stop myself to be like, okay, I already have this going on. Why am I getting sucked into this? Is this my idea? Is this something I really have the capacity to do? I ask myself those questions and then I'd be like, get out of there, because that's not what I'm doing. But it is like a you know, AI for some people, they think, oh, I don't know how to do this, but AI can tell me how to do it. So I'm gonna just fake it till I make it, I guess. But you know, I think it's important to actually really trust what you're doing instead of copying off of somebody else, because you're. And then she told a story about somebody who took one of her courses and end up charging back the charges after, but they were in every Q&A, in everything, you know, getting her information, talking to her, tagging her, talking about how they made money. And then he did that. And she emailed him and was like, what's going on? What, you know, I just want to make sure it's not a problem, whatever, or that it didn't accidentally happen. Maybe didn't know the name of what was going to charge you. And he was like, oh, no, I did it on purpose. What? And then he starts selling the same thing she's selling. And it's like, that's outright theft, right? That's crazy. And why would you go and get the money back when you pay this person for a service and they gave it to you? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's the world we live in, right? And everything is, people are using AI for good and they're using it for bad. And that's the thing I think is going to be like a huge problem later on. But anyway, I went off on a tangent, but I said all that to say
no such thing.
the authenticity is where it's at. Like, use AI, but use it as a tool. Don't use it as to replace your brain. Like, I still question the answers that it gives me. Like, wait, why would you say that? And when we didn't even talk about that or whatever. And then it'd be like, oh, I misunderstood the question or whatever the case may be. But you don't just, take somebody's stuff and then I don't know. I don't know. But but anyway, back to
you shouldn't even feel good about it. I can't believe these people sometimes.
But I think people think that they're not going to be found out on the internet because the internet is so big. I think that's what some people think, because thinking about the girl that most recently just recreated this lady's TikTok video word for word, it's like, one, you had to practice that shit to even be able to deliver it like you did. And if you spent all that time practicing it and going over it, why couldn't you come up with your own idea? You actually have AI right now.
Not? You
could have just been like, I saw this video. I like this video. I like what she had to say. How can I do it in my own type of like spin? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but back to KevinOnStage. That's what this all started.
Yeah, you know what? KevinOnStage is dope. I feel like he's got a lot going on too, which I love. Like, he posts every day on social media. But no, I also understood what you were saying, and I totally agree with you. But it's KevinOnStage. Okay, so he's got the internet thing. He's doing really well with this other podcast that he does. It's called, oh man, I'm drawing a blank right now, but
I can't remember either. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Oh my gosh, I'm so horrible. It's like the things that people did wrong, or what they. Let me just. I gotta search it real quick.
I can't remember either, but while you're doing that, I'm
the Ball Brothers podcast. He got the thing with him in Not My Best Moment.
That's what it's called. Yeah. Because I wanted to correct what I had initially thought, that chick Angel was actually his cousin, because they just have the similar personalities that I could just believe that. But his actual cousin by marriage is I'm not a lawyer, but she is his wife's sister. So
let me just say something, because I just had to Google him, and I just want to give it up to people like this, because he is literally one of the podcast kings. Okay, he got like 4 different podcasts, like at least, and he got like his shows that he's doing, this internet show. We just talked about an internet show. He got Not My Best Moment. He got Here's the Thing, which I think they've won awards. The Ball Brothers podcast.
I didn't know that was... With the Ball Brothers?
The Ball Brothers podcast with him and Tony Baker.
I didn't know. No, I thought you were talking about like
God, it's so funny. They be talking about, oh my God, it always comes back to movies, be the topic.
Okay.
But they always start out with like the 5 best, the 5 sayings of people that, the five white sayings that Black people say, or like the 5 best soul food movies, or the 5 best, like whatever. And they'll start like that, and then they end up coming back to something else. So like, the 5 best cereals, the 5 best cartoons. Like, they just do all of this stuff. And they're so funny and easy to watch. It's like such a good time. Like, I think I watched a lot of them when I was recovering
I'm about to find that one, because I don't think I ever found that one. The Ball Brothers podcast?
When I came back from the hospital.
Bald, B-A-L-D?
Ball Brothers.
Oh, I thought you were saying ball like B-A-L-L, like LeVar Ball's son.
Oh no, Bald Brothers, bald like bald head.
That's hilarious.
I mean, but look, this man out here working hard. He posts every day on Instagram. He reacted to people's stuff. He got a YouTube channel. He got Churchy. He got something else like Churchy. It's like another different show. It's like a hospital show or something. This guy be out here touring, doing comedy. And he got 4 or 5 podcasts, because I feel like.
And listen, not for nothing. Let's look at this, because we're doing the same thing. All of our family, well, not all of our family, but me, you, Jay, we're all like online or whatever. Maybe we can get some of our other family members to do it, but he has that one with his wife, then he has the one with that chick Angel, and it's like, his wife has her own podcast, so I like that. I like the fact I watched her and her sister talk about something too. I like them too. But anyway,
they're building an empire. I love it. I'm here for it. I'm here. There was, you know what? It's so
all
funny
those
to me.
YouTube checks.
he talks about this in his book, and I did buy his book back in
Mm-hmm.
September when it came out,
Me too.
maybe of last year. But he talks about, like, how hard it is to step out there and like do things. And he talked about how his app didn't work out because he had thought he had a lot of content on there, but people would download it, watch all the content in the free trial, and then not re-up. And so the app, he had to let go of the app. And so he talks a lot about like the things that he learned from, and especially in that book. I can't remember the name of the book, but look,
It's
I bought it.
I bought it too, so let me
It's
tell you,
like how
it's in my
it's like lessons he learned and stuff like that. But anyway,
it's was it
shout out to
almost
him.
successful or something like that? Hold on, let me see. I just now I was listening
I
to
could just
it.
Google it too because I was just talking about um
Successful
here we go.
failure.
Successful failure. And he
Yeah.
has another book with his wife called Marriage Be Hard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, doing this, I love it. I love to see it. These black people out here building empires. Okay? So
And the thing
anyway,
about it
and that's
is, it just you never know what like how far it's gonna reach or when it's gonna hit because you know you just have to be consistent, and that's what he is kind of always talking about. When he was at Podcast Summit, he did an actual one of his videos right there on stage, how to show people how easy it is for him to get his 3 videos a day that he wants to upload. So
yeah.
you know
And a lot of it just we be in our head. Now I am doing something so regretful right now in my life. I'm doing these, but I told myself I was gonna do it because I said I was gonna do all of August, but then I changed it because I didn't get started till mid-August, and I changed it from a video a day to a short a day. So I've been
mm-hmm.
doing about a short a day, and the worst thing about it, and I just can't wait till I become a better version of myself, so we don't have to deal with this, y'all. But I be looking crazy, and I told myself I'm gonna have, like you said earlier about habit stacking. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a short every day, and my thinking is like, yeah, who's gonna see this? Who
You
cares,
look
right?
crazy
Like,
by whose standards though? Because if have you looked at the internet lately?
true, very true
I think you're
statement to
fine.
make.
I think you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, look, and the
Because
point is,
that's
it doesn't.
real. Like even Kev come on stage cousin, his wife's sister, she was like, I wish I would have started a faceless podcast. I mean, faceless channel. She was like, because he was like, why? And she was like, because 6 out of 7 days my hair's not done. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real struggle. Like when people to try to get on camera, it's like, how do I look? How am I presenting or whatever? But the reality is you could do everything right and then people still will be like, your lipstick is
Yeah,
up here. So I feel like it's better to just be real. Like, yeah, sometimes I'm gonna
yeah,
be looking like this coming from the gym, or sometimes I might be coming from work. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I
yeah.
might be coming from an event. That is just life. So anybody who says something, at least you watched the video. Appreciate you.
Hello, and hopefully you watched it twice to say, is her hair really that jacked?
Let
Look
me
at it
go back and
again.
see if she got figured up all to
Make a
one nail.
comment. Right. Comment on it. Tell me about myself. No, I do really feel like that because I'm just like, look, I'm sharing ideas. I needed to have it stacked. Like, there just wasn't, I didn't want to wait for another part of the day to do this thing. It's just like when too many things have to line up, it's less likely that I'm going to
That's not gonna happen. I'm
okay.
with you on
Oh, you
that.
know what I'm definitely doing is I'm gonna go on this walk, and you know what I can do? I can film a little 2 minute short, and it'll help me get around the little corner to get back over, to
If I go
continue
on a
on.
walk, I end up with a video. And that's the way that I look at
Yeah,
the gym. If I go to the gym, I end up with a video. And that's all it's about because it's like you don't want to give yourself too much time to talk yourself out of it. And like you said,
yep,
the more intricate it is, the more likely I'm not going to probably get it done. So,
exactly. So I was like,
and then listen, somebody out there, like we're judging this off of what we think, right? When we look at videos, everything is subjective, right? You might look at something and be like, oh, her hair is a mess. I might look at something and just watch whatever they said, not even think about what
yeah,
the hair looks. Not say that you personally, but like you just never know what somebody's attention is going to be drawn to in the video. But that's the beauty about being authentic, because you
yeah.
know everybody's going to know something different. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm happy for
And
Cam. I can't wait to see.
I'm so lucky too that like I'm at the age now where I just don't even care. I used to really care to the point where it's like, oh no, I can't be seen like that. That's ridiculous. And now I'm like, whatever. I have a really good idea to share, so they're just gonna have to deal with this. You know what I mean? And like I don't ever look at anybody's hair now that you mentioned it. Or, if I do, I might say, oh, but if they have a good idea to share, then I'm
But you
focused
know
on that.
what? If I do notice it, I'd be like, oh, you turn the camera on. What you got to say? And then I'd be like, you know what? I got to give you props because you actually did what I didn't do, right? Because the thing about it is you are judging yourself. Somebody's gonna have something to say regardless. Now, yeah, if you come on here looking like real crazy, like right out the bed, that is something, you know what I'm saying? But that's also still something for you because, I just feel like there's no way that you can please everybody and somebody's always gonna have something to say. And I just feel like the consistency actually matters because if you think about it, right, I'm gonna use this person as an example because I feel like you'll get it easier than if I use anybody else. Just hilarious. Just hilarious looks crazy sometimes. Like there's a meme going around with her with that little bitty ponytail that Tasha K uses all the time, or whatever. Like, but that's not the totality of her. Like, yeah, it exists. We can laugh at it, but she's laughing all the way to the bank because she's consistently doing whatever she's doing, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I agree with you on the fact that now that I'm older, I don't really care as much because there was times when I did care, like, oh, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna?
Yeah.
How does my hair look? And what is the? And it's like those things that you're noticing, people probably will only notice one or two because you, right? You're like, I only painted one hand or I only painted one fingernail. Oh my god, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Yeah,
once you
whatever it is.
these people these days are helping me get over myself. All right. And there's if I had to think of a top 3 list of people that help me get over myself, it would be fucking Blueface, Krishan, and
okay, let's speak on it, okay?
Live Life.
Nevaeh, whatever her name is, let's talk about it because here's the thing. We are always going to be talking about what's online and what we're subject to. As millennials, as Black millennials, there are certain things that, these things would not have happened in the old days. It's like you get to choose what you want to sort of tap into. But
I will say Krishan looks good. She did get back in the gym.
Oh my goodness.
She's doing her thing. Okay.
Let's start with the good because we have some other things that we need to discuss as well. But let's start with the good. This girl is 26 years old. She's from Baltimore. She obviously had a sort of like rough, I don't know if she had a rough upbringing, but
I think she did. If what she's saying is true, because there are like accusations between her family about some stuff that happened to aunts and stuff like that, and stuff that happened to her that she spoke on. So anyway, yeah. So we'll say rough upbringing.
And I'm not really sure about that, but she's endured a bit. She obviously she could fight, y'all. I'll tell you that. I've seen her in a few fights, and I'm like, I'm glad it wasn't me. She, recently has had a son in the last 3 years. She had him in September of 2003. Krishan Jesus Malone Jr.
2023.
So yeah, he's gonna be turning 3 on September 3rd of 2023. Now, mind you, she would have been 23 at that time, right? So she's 26 right now. She's born March 14th. Does that make her an Aries?
No, she is a Pisces. What'd you say? March what?
Okay. 14th.
Yeah, she's a Pisces. What? Well, but I know we're gonna talk about her in a second. Nevaeh is an Aries, and I got so much to say about that with how she let Blueface talk to her. But let's continue with Krishan. Jesus.
That young lady needs some help. But anyway, we're gonna get over that because somebody said she was in a shelter too. But my point about Krishan is that she had a little bit of stuff going on. I know that she was she on Baddies or something? I can't remember.
Well, she had the show. They had the show with I think she was on Zeus for she was on Baddies, but she also had that show with Blueface, Crazy, and was it Crazy in Love or something like that?
I don't know. That would be that would be interesting to considering the
yeah, they had that show. I feel like we talked about it briefly, but we weren't really following. Hold on, sorry, my thing is so loud.
She just made a comment recently about them being the bigger than Beyonce and Jay-Z. I was like, come on, lady, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what she did address that on Jason Lee's podcast. She wasn't meaning bigger than them. She explained it some other way, but I feel like she was not honest on that podcast. But yeah, the
On the
show
Jason Lee
was
podcast?
Blueface and Krishan, Crazy in Love. It was in 2022, so it had 2 seasons.
Now, okay, let's give her flowers a little bit. So obviously, she's 22 years old. She had a little bit of a rough upbringing. She's making her way. She's a young mom. She's only 26. Really, I was doing some things at 26 that were super questionable, if not downright illegal or something. I don't know.
I know I fucked with some no good ass dudes in that at that time in around that time. So I'm not even going to judge her for that because you know it's like people could tell you anything, but if you don't feel it, you're gonna keep fucking with that person.
Yeah, and she's you know what she's a young girl. She's a mom now. She you know she's very athletic. She actually has a fight coming up. Let me see if I can share this tab instead. She's gonna I think it's gonna be on Zeus also.
Does it say who she's fighting? Where my glasses at?
This young lady, I saw the picture. Hold up,
because for a while we did not know who the person was gonna be, and we like, how you practicing for a fight and you don't know who you fighting?
Yeah, I don't think the business has worked out yet.
That's crazy.
So now this person named Big Lex.
Well, Big Lex is for her sister. Big Lex beat her sister.
Her sister's a boxer also?
Well, Taseki fought Big Lex. Big Lex took it seriously, got trainers, you know, she did whatever she had to do, and I don't think her sister did that. I think her sister just kind of, you know, thought she was gonna go in there and just wreck, but she ended up getting tired and she got beat. So, and Krishan was happy for her. She said she's happy for her, but they're not cool right now, I guess. So, but that's interesting that she's gonna fight Big Lex.
Well, it says, I need that for my sister. She wrote that 3 hours ago. See, because we be in the comments, y'all. We are somebody's cousins, maybe even yours. And sometimes you have to go take it to the comments. And so that's where we are right now. This is the poster or flyer or whatever for this is supposed to be coming soon. Now, I don't know if this is the fight that's going to be happening on September whatever 16th we just saw, but this is, they're saying, you know, they're gonna fight and it's coming soon and who you got. And Krishan has commented, I need that for my sister. Breaking news, because this could be deleted any moment now. You know what I'm saying? Let's say the internet works. But anyway, you know,
I don't feel good about this, but we'll see what happens. But I do think that she is an animal, and I feel like, you know, she's 26, and I, you know, when I was in my 20s, I had my moments, okay? And so I really try to, like, I do think that a lot of it is crazy, but I'm trying not to think with my 49-year-old brain, right? I wasn't always thinking like the person that I am now. So I do get that she reckless, right? She was a little bit more reckless than she is now, but she's still reckless. And it's like you have that, and coming from Baltimore, I know the mentality that she has, right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but I do see a little bit of growth from the Krishan Rock that we first met into now. Even though she's still crazy, she's not. She got a little bit more discipline because she was able to follow what her trainer told her to do, from not going back to Blueface that week. He kept her in there. She was training. She is serious about her working out when she gets in the gym. So she does have that that work ethic as far as that's concerned. But I would like to see her. Hopefully she's getting her son therapy, and I would like to see her be more into that because, you know, it's a bunch of things that's been happening online with that people, this streaming is going to get people in trouble because they're watching everything. They're seeing everything, every little thing. It's like one thing to do a video, but to have a live stream, everybody's paying attention to everything, right? Who's saying what in the background, what you doing with your child, what, you know. And she has this thing where she be like screaming and shit. She was doing that today or yesterday when she did her reaction for the Jason Lee video. And I was just like, okay, Krishan, like, I'm gonna watch this, but you gotta stop screaming and like she's just real loud and just, you know, just, I don't know, just, but
she's rough around the edges. She's very rough around the edges. Like, we can call a spade a spade.
But absolutely.
And you know what? She, you know, I appreciate and respect her athleticism. She was in one of those like American, like, gladiator sort of things that we used to watch when we were younger. And I was like, oh, that is dope. Like, that's not like my goal in life, but
Mm-hmm.
I, but I respect those joints because we used to watch like Double Dare and we used to watch all those things. And I always think about like, how would I do in one of those competitions? And I saw her do one a couple years ago and she killed it.
Good.
Now, I want to give all that love and roses to the young lady before we go in, because what's unfolding is also happening on our timeline and we have thoughts about it. Blueface is a whole, it's not even a whole different situation. It's the same situation.
It's the
But,
same circus. And it's forcing itself into our timeline.
and like, how are we faring? And the thing is, you can't turn it off. Somehow, I never followed either of them.
I never follow either. I don't watch. I don't have Kick. I don't really look on Twitch. And so when I'm looking at YouTube, I see the creators in my demographic that I watch over other stuff. They're covering it. And I'm like, okay, so I watch your videos. So I got to see what you're talking about. And then it kicks me down the rabbit hole. Like, okay, now I got to go see what happened with this. What happened with that? So
Yeah.
that's where I've been at.
No, and I mean, like, look, it's happening to everyone. It's not just us. Like,
and I'll say this: I did see the one creator that I saw talking about this to ad nauseum, especially the child, is Sean Davy Way. So shout out to Sean Davy Way because he is on her neck. Okay, he's noticing when Krishan Jr. is sick. If she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, he'd be calling it out. And I feel like that's one of the things that has the internet in an uproar is that we're watching the streams and we can see stuff going on. So like, you can't get mad at nobody calling nothing out. You're the person that started the stream. You know what I'm saying? So when she like, it was the last thing I saw was somebody saying that he can't see because she screamed in front of him or whatever, and he got scared. But it's like, you can it just looks like he can't see right in front of him or something like that. You know, so that's one of the allegations that's going on. Everybody's concerned because he's 3 and he's not walking and eating and talking. You know what I'm saying? So it's something there, but we only see what we see, and it could be therapy going on behind the scenes. I would hope that it is, but I guess only time will tell.
She said that, and one of the things that's coming out now is when she did the Jason Lee interview, and you were saying earlier how she was reacting to it. When she did that Jason Lee interview, she talked about how, I'm not accepting any of the things that are being spoken to my child. I did think that a lot of people in the comments were expressing concern and not blame, but just concern for the child. And other people were alleging, because I didn't see it myself, that when she was last on the show, on that same couch, on that same set, she was drinking and she was saying she was celebrating her pregnancy, so that other people have witnessed her drinking while she was
I think there's footage of her in the club while she was pregnant, drinking and smoking, and there's footage of her in other places doing that while she was pregnant. So
look, nobody wants anything to happen to their child, but there does have to be some acknowledgement, or like, what is it called? Accountability.
Well, right? The only person that can hold somebody accountable is you yourself, right? We can say stuff, but that doesn't mean that the person is going to hold themselves accountable. They're going to do they could do just like she is, like, I'm not accepting this. And one of the things I think that is happening is the chat, right, is full of nobodies. People I don't know. Not me, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know what y'all can say whatever y'all want to say, but y'all not here, and I don't think it's taken seriously. You know what I'm saying? Or I also don't think it's taken as concern at all, right? It's just chatter. You know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of people, are saying things that they notice, and she is in denial about a couple of things, right? We don't really know if Blueface is the father. We don't really know if he's getting therapy, but you're opening up your stream, your life, and you're being secretive about that. So that I can see that's the reason why people would like come harder or whatever. And like people like Sean Davy Way are like, hold up, let's point this out, because there was times when he was sick and you could hear that he was sick, but she just going on with whatever she's doing. So, you know, that's the thing about the streaming thing. I think that you have to be on point when you're doing it, because the chat is paying attention to everything. Everything. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, I'm just looking actually on the other screen at her timeline of her. I didn't
but
realize she was in jail when
mm-hmm.
he turned
6
1.
months. Well, she was in jail for 3 months when he was 6 months. I think she got out when he was like 9 months or something like that.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
she was saying. But she also was in our old neighborhood. She go to the church with the hip
Yeah.
hop preacher. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
But Robert used to call him the hip hop preacher. but yeah, she was locked up. You know what I'm saying? And she felt some type of way about that. But that's what made me think. She's 26, right? And if
yeah,
you were,
she's
if
really
when you
young.
were 26, and if you were 26 and you had your life together, kudos to you. But I know that I was a hot mess. You know what I'm saying? And so I can't really. Obviously, I wasn't doing what she's doing, but you just got to think 26 ain't really nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just really became an adult. And it's so crazy that the decisions that you make could, as a young person, could just affect you, you know, follow you along. And we can see how this fared out. But, you know, I feel like she has to grow on her own terms. Like, we can't, like, even though it's like, girl, this is crazy. It's like, I'm saying this is crazy for my 49-year-old self. If I was 25, I probably would still think it was crazy, but then somebody might think the shit I was doing was crazy at that time. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a situation where, well, she is walking on dangerous territory, but she just needs to keep doing what she's doing in the gym. And if she's really into the church like she says she is, that she needs to just keep going with that, versus going to be back with Blueface and join the circus. But let's all
Join
just
the
understand
circus.
let's all just understand that we live in a time where content is king, okay? And we don't understand it like they do, because we are about, you know, seeing if something is real. Now it's all about present this, clip farm, like clip this. You clip it means I'm doing this for a clip so it can go viral so we can make money, right? And when you
Yeah.
add the money element in it, it kind of muddies the waters, because nobody's gonna be, now we're not talking about the type of person you are. Right now we're just talking about what we can do to make money. And that's kind of where we're going with it. So you think about her, you think about the other people who are involved, like Nevaeh. Nevaeh is an Aries, which I can't understand how she could be an Aries and let this Bama talk to her like he talked to her. But maybe she's okay with it because she's getting paid, right? I don't know. But the same thing with Krishan. It's like, even though she's trying to present that she's walking this path, she's still about that money. And she was so excited last night when she was reviewing this thing. She kept talking about something that she can't talk about or whatever. And I just hope that it's not that she's moving in with Blueface, because he's moving like in a day or so. Maybe he moved today. I don't know. He's moving to another house, but he has the other house with Nevaeh, and he told Nevaeh, "You staying here. When I get a wife, I'm going to the, you know, you got to leave," or something like that. But it's just like the shit that he say just makes me feel like, okay, I don't even know if this is content or not, because we're in an age where somebody would go for that. Okay, you could do whatever you want to on camera as long as we get this money. Because I mean, I get it. Like, we're strangers. We're not really, you know, affecting their life. But then at the same time, it's like, you really are okay with yourself being disrespected like this with your child watching? Like,
I gotta show a few pictures of this. That's the way you're
I
talking.
don't get it.
Sorry, yeah.
I don't get it.
This
I
is
mean,
crazy.
and then it's like stuff with her son. Her son just now, I'm happy his father came and got him. That's bomb. Because,
This
you
guy.
know,
Look at this guy. Look at his face.
he
I'm
just looks
sorry.
like a dumbass to me. I'm so sorry. The fucking tattoos on the face just make me feel like he's just crazy. But I don't think he's dumb, though. I don't think he's dumb. But I do hear that he's different off camera. But he rocks with a bunch of disrespectful people. You know what I'm saying? He's a disrespectful person. And I mean, but then it all goes back to how you process stuff when you was growing up. His mom created a lot of traumatic situations for him that he's spoke about to her. And you have a grown asshole now. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is.
Mhm. Now it's too late. But look, this is what's going on our internet. And I feel like, I cringe when I hear him talk to Nevaeh, or I don't even know if that's how to say her name, but
Yes, Nevaeh.
when he used to talk to Krishan like that. Like, we've been talking about this on and off for
But
however
then
long it's been in our feet.
listen, I just implore you to listen to this, right? Back in the day, when we were in our 20s, I've listened to a dumb nigga or two. You know what I'm saying? I've like met a person that I liked and maybe everybody else didn't like, but he doesn't act like that over there. He doesn't act like this to other people. It's just, crazy. And I could really see if he acts different off camera. She's 25, so she's 25, Krishan's 26, and the Jaden, the other baby mother before Krishan, she's the oldest, she's 27. And
Wow, they're all pretty young though.
Yeah, and that's the point though. That's the point. It's like you just really became an adult. You just really got outside at that age, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
if you already aren't raised in the realm of high self-esteem and whatever, you meet somebody like that and spend enough time around them, now it's not about the money. It's about, he made you feel this way. He's nice over here. All you get gifts, but then the camera comes on and this happens. And then, but he knows he's breaking them down psychologically. Like, he does stuff, you stay for it, you go through it, and then you're okay with him after that. And you're like, oh, I love you. You give him a kiss and you cooking, you talking. So it's like either both of y'all are playing a role, or you're just, just thinking that he's going to be different to you. I don't know. I just know back in the day, it just was different. Like when we were watching certain stuff, like celebrities and stuff like that, if they got into a argument that was disrespectful in front of the cameras or somewhere, we knew that was real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's changed now. It's different now. It's like you don't even know if that's real or not, because she could be like what happened was, like, I watched one stream where they were he took her out on a picnic and they spent time together. Huh?
Nothing. I had the other thing going.
Oh, he took her out on a picnic and they spent time together, and she was like, oh, I want to get some crabs. He owns the King of Crab restaurant or whatever. Went there and they got swatted, and everybody thinks that Krishan did it because he was in there having family time with her. But then they get home and he's like, you ain't take your son to school. You let this nigga take your son to school, and da da da. And you, bitch, you dumb. You did, and it's like, Nevaeh, as an Aries, bitch, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, I totally rocks with that whole idea. But okay, but I did hear that she was in a shelter or something before this. So she could.
She said she stayed there like a month and a half. But okay,
I don't know her background, but nothing's worth this. But she is a few weeks postpartum. I think I'm just trying to find the information now. She gave birth on August 18th. So it's August 27th. She's, about 9 days in with that child.
And this fam is already telling her she's lazy and you don't do this, you do that. It's like, dude, she just pushed this baby out. Like, are you serious right now? But that's the psychological breakdown. You doing this on camera, so she can't really say nothing too much back because he got control of everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just weird to me. But again,
you know what? She doesn't understand that yet. It's something that some of us have had.
I don't think she thought it was going to be like
this. to learn. The difference is that we didn't have these. Well, I wouldn't have allowed. I wouldn't have allowed a stream. That's ridiculous. Not when you talking to me like this.
You just never know because
no.
But here's the thing: we think like that because it wasn't cameras everywhere back in the day. They look at it totally different. It's like this is a means to an end because you come like for Krishan, for instance, they made $100,000 when they linked up. So you come on camera with me for a little bit, and we make this money, and then you let me say whatever I want to say, and then we split this money or whatever the case may be. But like for us, it means something different. Like I'm not going to sell my soul for that or sell my what do you call it? Like you can't buy me like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't even want to
But
pretend like that. It's
but
like, hey,
now,
look, I'll pay you $100 an hour if you act like a slave, and then I
but
can
see,
beat you.
that's where we're at now. That's
It's
where
just
we're
like,
at now.
no, I
Because
don't want that $100 an hour. You keep that
but
$100 an hour.
listen, that is you and that is me. Because we have a different mindset. I think that a lot of people have the mindset, because even not even just this, but look at reality TV. People are willing to go on reality TV just like those shows like Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, just for the opportunity to have a 15 minutes of fame, no matter how they look. They could be edited like the villain. They give these companies carte blanche to edit the photo, the
And they
footage like
don't
they
know
want.
beforehand, but now they do. Now, let me tell you this. I learned that same thing that you're saying right now. I learned that, like, they don't have any, when I first knew that they didn't have any say over what was shown, when that lady on Flavor of Love took a shittle out of her dress and it was shown on television. I
That's
said, that is
crazy.
the thing. That is the thing that everyone is afraid of happening in public. And now you've just let it not happen in public, but you're giving a toast on a reality show and
That
someone
was
got it on
crazy.
camera.
That was
It was the
crazy.
worst moment. It should have been the worst moment for all of us watching. Because it's like, oh my God, this is everyone's worst fear, to shit
I
themselves on
still
camera.
don't understand how it happened though.
Like, but you know what? Shout out to that lady and whatever she's doing right now. She never lived that down. Nobody in her
We're still
immediate
talking
family.
about it today.
We're talking about it right now. I'm so sorry, but I mean, and God forbid that it ever happened to anybody that I love or me.
Yeah, no thank you. No thank
But
you.
anyway, yeah, this is what's happening on our internet streets, guys, and so we need to, what? Why can't we get ice on these internet streets? We have to have them in Minnesota and getting these government gloves. They just made like a $16.9 million order to get these like taser gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Taser
oh,
gloves?
that's great. Because people don't, I
Taser
mean,
gloves.
I'm calling them taser gloves, but they were cleared to, spend 16.9 million Americans, and it's probably higher than that, taxpayers' dollars to buy some gloves that apparently shock people when you
Oh my
touch
God.
them. So
That's crazy.
I'm calling them taser gloves. I'm like, you can't give them some tasers that, the Metropolitan Police Departments don't have some leftover tasers that these thugs can have while they out here. Anyway, we're not going to
That's
get into
ridiculous.
political stuff.
I'm gonna look at that when I get it. I ain't know about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. But anyway, so yeah, these are the things that we're covering. I'm about to move on to the next topic, but just to close this out, like, Krishan, I wish all of these women and their babies the best that could come to them, but I don't think, and even though they're saying like, oh, this man is different offside of camera, I don't want any man that's going to portray our family in a way like that,
Because
and
this
that
is
is
not
okay
going
with
anywhere. It's gonna be on the internet forever.
And then, like, what is your son gonna grow up and see about his dad? Like, what if something happens to you? This is your legacy. Come on, man. We gotta make some better choices. And to Krishan, like, I think she's probably doing the best she can do. I don't know what's happening with her legal situations, but she's probably doing the best that she can do. But we have to acknowledge that if he's on, she said in the interview that like he's in therapy or something this time. We're
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging that obviously like that doesn't
Well,
um
so I saw a video
I don't want to
today
say anything bad about the
because somebody
child.
was comparing her son to what's the girl's names? Alexis Sky, who had the baby. Was it with she had a baby with Fetty Wap? Well, she thought Fetty Wap was her child's father. Um,
Mm,
but Alexis Sky has a child with cerebral palsy. But the
mm,
child is getting therapy and stuff like that, and can do a bunch of things. So they were comparing, um, I think the name of the video was something like two girls, same story, or something like that.
no. I'm just
So
about to
people are
say two
watching.
girls,
So
one cup.
she got so she got so much money. She needs to make sure she do this therapy, like for him. Like what is stopping you from doing the therapy? Because most people wouldn't do it because they couldn't afford it. You can afford it, so Hopefully he's getting the
Well,
best therapy.
we think she can afford it. This is the baby when it was born, 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But we think she can afford it. I don't, somebody has said something about how we think these people have money because they've made the money, but we don't know
Mm-hmm.
what they've done with it after they've made it. So, I don't know what kind of
You
stuff
know,
they have on. But anyway, I wish them the best, but like we have to be real that like we do see that something he's not, look, I wish them the best. I'm not trying to say anything bad about the child, but
look, she knows
we
better than we do. Okay, she knows better than we do.
you
We only
know,
see the glimpses on camera. She knows this. Like she went out to a restaurant with somebody, and she has to blend his food up, pretty much. Okay, so
and
he wouldn't
it's
eat.
not. I want to say this because when she got interviewed on the Jason Lee show, it was kind of like a thing. I felt like as a theme where people were feeling like there was hate online. It was online hate. That's how it was framed. I think it's concern. I think people who are following them, who have followed them, just like whether we wanted to or not, we've been following them. Like it's been presented to us over the last 4 years, however long, and so we're following the story. It's not like we're looking them up. It's unfortunately unfollowable.
I don't know.
And
I do
there's
think it
no
is
way to
some hate though.
unfollow.
I do think it is
But
some hate.
maybe there's some hate, but I
Well,
think
the
I
reason
see a lot
why
of
is because everybody's not concerned, right? Everybody's not concerned. It's people who just
everybody's
don't
not
like her in mixed because I mean you could do a video today and somebody could come up under them and start hating. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
yeah
there probably is some hate, but I don't think that I think you're right in that I think Jason Lee was just doing the interview like he knew he should have so that he could get the answers he needed to. Like I think as an interviewer, you have to walk
yeah.
a fine line. You have to make your guests feel comfortable, but you
Now
also
look,
want to make your audience know that you're asking the question. So he started out really strong, but then when it got to the kid part, I think everybody wanted him to hold her accountable to what's going on. But at the same time, it's like, you know, um, it all boils down to how she's processing this stuff. Like I don't know, but like I just want to remind everybody she is 26. I don't care what nobody say. If you're the person that got yourself together at 26 and you bought a house and you married and you did, hey, kudos to you. But everybody is not like that, and we have people who are grown adults out here that kind of never went through some things or never learned this, and it's playing out. Okay,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, so I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
an
no,
unfortunate
you're not.
situation.
It's more to come on that. We're not. Nobody wants anything bad to be said about a child. But we're not stupid. Everybody, like we're seeing what's happened. We saw what happened, and it's
In real time.
in real
You
time,
streamed it. You streamed
and if
it.
we're
That's the
being
thing.
honest, the best results happen when people get their children help as soon as possible. So it's not cool to be like being in denial about
Well,
like,
I don't
oh,
think she has like a PR team or like she has people around her, but I think a lot of the people who were initially around her were just people from her family, people who, like were toxic like her. So I don't know. I think that the coach she has now is a good influence on her because he was able to like at least keep her from running back to LA to go be with Blueface. But I feel like we need to all just keep our eyes open for the next couple of weeks because Blueface is moving. Krishan said that she was going to be in the new house, but she wanted him to be a mature man. So I don't know. But I feel like she still likes him, loves him, whatever they want to call it. Because I mean, why else would you be doing the shit that you're doing? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I'll be here watching because listen, it's on my feed. So
it's on my feed. We cannot like avoid it,
I
unfortunately.
tried to avoid it.
And it doesn't work. So it's really what it is. But but yeah, I mean like we're not gonna play like we don't know what's happening, guys. Like, the baby is not all the way 100. We're just gonna be real.
Yeah, and she
Gotta,
like her saying that is wild, but So the only thing we don't know, we just don't know whether they're getting the therapy. But she says he is, so we'll see. I mean, we should see results, right? We should see
Well,
results.
I hope so. Look, they don't owe nobody nothing, but
She
I
gonna have
think
anyway.
it's unfortunate to be waiting, right? Or to be saying, so the last statement that I heard her say was something like, you know, like you guys have, like she said something like God moves, you guys don't understand how God moves, like I'm just waiting on God to move or something like that. And it's like, well, understandably God moves, like we're believers, but you got to take responsibility for some things too. Like, we saw this happen and like, come on, lady.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
think we should stop waiting for that because she probably is never going to come out and say that, right?
Yeah, I'm not
Because she's
waiting.
not even
Yeah.
admitting that she feels like something is wrong. So, that's the first step. But we'll see what happens. Listen, like I said, I got to give her props on her ethic in the gym. I hope she does not go back to Blueface. Uh, Apparently, she got some big plans, so we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully her boxing career takes off. Now, I don't know what's happening with her legal troubles, but I did notice she has that teardrop on her face. That's interesting. But,
It's
speculation.
interesting because, like I said, she needs to stop talking. Like, I don't know what's going on because when she did the interview, it's like another interview piled on top of what everybody else already said. Because, like I said, Blueface and her sister went on there and implicated her too, because they were saying that he wanted a DNA test, and then he was talking. He kept talking. She said it. He kept talking about my son. And so it's like, girl, stop talking. You know what I'm saying? But Blueface also
Yeah.
said that he was like, all of that, him being the father was content. She did not call. He was like, nobody called me and told me they was in labor or nothing like that ever. So, I mean, if that
Also,
was
it's
my
interesting
son,
that she named I mean, it's very unorthodox, right? To name the baby. I think that's interesting. Like,
well, she did that because he wouldn't let her name the baby after him.
why though? Because now this new baby is named after him.
Well, that might be his baby. That's what I'm trying to
Oh,
say. He said
nah,
that if he was the father,
nah.
wouldn't he have been called when somebody went into labor? And then Jason Lee asked him, well, wasn't it some type of storyline going around back then? He was like, yeah, it was all for content, but nobody ever called me to say she was in labor. So, like, if I'm the father, why wouldn't that be the case? You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a question. The point is, whether he is or not, he's openly what do you call it? Because even you can't even say you can't. I was about to say you can't even say disown because he said it has to be yours to disown. So
Yeah, he's disassociated himself from that situation.
consistently. So and she even said it like because he was like Jason Lee was like why would you like he was like you're trying to be with this dude who is actively he has somebody else pregnant. They about to have a baby shower tomorrow for baby Blueface. And so what do you call that? And she had to be real about it. But she even said that when she was reacting to it. So, but she still refers to him as her baby father. So, but there was a DNA test, and people are saying, "Oh, it was for Zeus," because I think it was done at that around that time or whatever. But she was like, "No doctor is gonna risk their practice just for a show or whatever." And it's like we don't really know that. You know what I'm saying? We don't know
We
that. So
don't.
she said it was
A lot of things happen.
the test exists, and it's real, but it's in her phone, and then her phone's broke. So it's
Whatever,
a bunch of
guys.
bullshit.
We don't believe you. You need more people. Also, like, look, I wish the best on them, especially the child, because like everything else is like, sure, it's content, but when it comes to like a child being born and him being like an innocent, like bystander of this, and he's obviously not, you know, I don't know. I don't want to speak anything ill on him. I think that, it's just a weird situation. And I hate that it's being documented like this. Like, I wish people had some,
It's wild. I mean, the other baby mother, Jaden, spoke out because he said something. He said something about, "Oh, you don't want to do what I want you to do, and I'm just gonna go find another family and replace y'all." You know what I'm saying? Basically, he was saying that to Jaden and Alexis, and she kind of came online and said, some stuff back to him or whatever. And it's just like, man, y'all kids are gonna find this later about how mom and dad was arguing over the internet. So it's just, I mean, it's a train wreck. You know what I'm saying?
It is. Look, we're probably going to cover more on that later, but they're so exhausting. I wish we could get them off our feet, but until then, we'll report back, I guess. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the Gary, Indiana power outage. Now, this is actually taken about 8 days after the storms came in there and the power went out, but it's now been, I think, about 12 days, I want to say. And now Keith Lee, I almost called him the wrong name.
That's funny.
Keith Lee has gone out, and I'm about to show what he's done, but he's kind of gone out and teamed up with some folks and brought over some food trucks and some help for the people there to get some, resources, because the government has not stepped in to help these people to get power or food or anything. This is Keith
Yeah,
Lee
that
right
was
here.
crazy. So the power's back on now for like 99% of the people, right? After this.
Good. Okay.
Because I think this happened on Monday. He went down there on Monday, but he partnered with Salvation Army in the city of Gary, Indiana. And that's how they did whatever relief that they provided. But it's crazy that it even went on that long. Like you said, it was like almost 2 weeks.
I mean, listen, unfortunately, Kanye said it. Don't nobody care about, Black people. He said it.
I mean, because I don't really watch. I can't even say I don't really watch the news like that, but I heard about everything else. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't hear about that. And apparently, the wealthier neighborhoods got power sooner, and the whatever their power company name is, they are at fault for this because they downplayed it. They downplayed the whole situation. Like,
so here's what's interesting. 70%, 76% of this area where the power went out in Gary, Indiana, is African American populated. It went out on August 11th. A powerful, storm struck northern Indiana and knocked out power to tens of thousands of residents. On the August 23rd and 24th, the crews started slowly bringing some neighborhoods back online, but the majority of people are still without electricity at that point. It's called Northern Indiana Public Service Company, NIPSCO.
Okay.
They announced on August 25th, 2 days ago, that the power will return to nearly all remaining customers by midnight. They made that announcement on August 25th. Now, on August 26th, the service was considered fully restored for almost everyone, but the state and local leaders are still investigating why it took so long. In that time, though, these people I'm showing right now were, rightfully outraged at the fact that they had to go that long. Because I mean, come on, let's be honest. If this happened in DC or New York or LA or even somewhere like Chicago or Boston or
first of all, it would have been all over everybody's news stations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it wasn't even covered by the news station.
That's crazy. It's one of the longest modern day power outages in U.S. history now because it went for so long.
Also, it's it was a Gary, Indiana. I get it.
Michael Jackson from?
Yes. Right. Motown, I think, was Detroit, but Gary, Indiana is where the Jackson family is from. But yeah, I think it's really interesting because even in this present day, the fact that people were without resources for that long, it's like who was in charge of that? And it was actually after Keith Lee came out to investigate or whatever. I don't think he was investigating. He brought some food trucks up there because people just have needs.
Because they were supposed to have the food truck tour, but he didn't feel right doing it if they skipping them and going to do it because they didn't have no power. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I think that this is the reason why. Well, when the George Floyd thing happened and we started watching creators that were boots on the ground or whatever, I think that the influencers have power more so than the media has, because for your favorite creator, you got your notifications on, you see all their videos, you know what I'm saying? And the government isn't that way, right? You don't have, like, if the government comes on the news, you got to actually be watching the news channel to see what they're talking about. And but your favorite creator, your influencer, is going to be right to your pocket, like, hey, this is what's going on. So I feel like it's bomb that he used his platform for that, because clearly they weren't doing anything. But
Yeah.
I will say the city of Gary did help along with the Salvation Army, but it's just kind of wild. Like, who's at fault? Like, it is the power company, because they were slow and they were downplaying the issue. But it's like, I guess the investigation is going to try to figure out who was actually at fault for this. You know what I'm saying? But this actually is a good example of how community could come together, especially with the use of social media now. It doesn't have to be people inside your community. It could be somebody outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he used
Yep.
$15,000 of his own money, and so did it was in one of the Indiana Pacers helped too. But I'm surprised that more people didn't donate money. Maybe they did, and I just didn't read about it. But I know he used $15,000 of
I
his own
mean,
money. And Tyrese
yeah,
Halliburton, or
yeah, I'm about to say it right now, but that's not. So to your point, if anybody did help, they weren't reported on. It's possible that other people donated, but it was Keith Lee and Tyrese Halliburton. They both paid $15,000 for supplies, and they mobilized food trucks, distributed water, and brought hot meals directly to local senior living facilities. I think that's very dope. Like,
yeah,
because
so
people just get forgotten about.
that's how you use your
But
platform. That's how you use your influence right
hello,
there.
that's dope. And I saw him speaking out on it, and that's also good. I love it when people speak out on a thing. But the fact that he went there and actually materialized support, I mean, that's the relief. It's
And I
like
don't feel
that's
like the
the
city
main
could have moved
thing.
that fast anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Which is crazy. Cause why are we paying taxes if people can't move that fast? This man,
That's
look,
true.
this man came from out of town with some people to come help. It's
I
like
mean, yeah.
y'all already
Yeah, but
there.
but
You're
but
the
that's what I'm
government.
saying though. Like I said, it's like, I don't even know what math to say, but it's like basic math and algorithms, right? You know, the creators, and then the creators who not that came on and said something in Gary, Indiana, which was why
Mm-hmm.
he saw it, right?
Yeah.
That was necessary as well. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, if you think about it, Keith Lee has more trust in his audience, has more
Yeah.
trust in him than the viewers of any media company in Gary, Indiana, or whatever government, local officials. They don't probably have as much trust. So the supporters for Keith mobilize probably made that happen too, right? Like, we see you, and now we could get the word out. We can help. We could, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure he got some of his supporters kicked in too. Like, oh, I'm so glad you're doing this. I want to help
Yeah.
too, type of thing. In the news and the government don't have that reach or the speed. He came out and immediately, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is a good example of, if you have a platform, this is why you should be paying attention to, communities. Pay attention to it. Because if he didn't do that, how much longer would they have had to wait? That shined the light on it, right?
Hello.
Like, oh, everybody's looking, and now there's an investigation
Yeah.
or whatever. So, and I feel like when the George Floyd stuff happened, there was a guy, Life is GQ. I was following him and watching him because he was showing stuff that they weren't showing on the news. You know what I'm saying? And people were able to, donate to him and help get stuff, make stuff happen or whatever. So I think this is great. Sucks
I
that
think
they
this
had
is
to go that
exactly.
long without power. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a fear for me. Like, if we were in a blackout, I would be so irritated. I
I
could
mean,
not.
like, there's so many things that you just, take for granted that you have access to until the power goes out. So I totally agree. Now, we're gonna hit up one more topic, and then we're gonna save the rest for next week. But it's interesting because there's so much happening, and this is actually a list of things um, that is happening right now in our country. But it's funny because this is actually one of them that's listed number 9. Gary, Indiana had been out of power for 12 days, but that's exactly how you're supposed to
That's crazy.
come through with the community. So shout out to him because that's one less thing on this list. But these are the things that are happening in our communities that we're going to need to be talking about, especially next week. But this Target minstrel costume, which we got a lot to say about that. Apparently Texas Roadhouse, which I used to work at, okay, everybody, and my husband.
I was going to ask you, how do you feel about that? Because did y'all see anything?
I heard that it was a rumor, but I don't know. I
guess it would
some
be
way
depending on where it was, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it certainly isn't the one around here, okay? Because all the black people work there. So the rumor was that white people were spitting in black people's food, like if
licking their biscuits and stuff.
We're gonna do this thing to your food. Some lady put up a thing about staples being in her bread. I don't believe that. But you know, okay. So these are the things. Texas Roadhouse rumor, and now it's said to be like squashed or like shut down as a rumor, but I don't really know. Puerto Rico not having water. I didn't even know about that.
I didn't know either.
There's some things happening with ICE that we need to talk about next week for sure. There's a lot of people out of the workforce, especially black women, 700,000 black women in the last 2 years since this whole DEI abolishment has happened with Doge. Okay, Nolan Wells, full sentence, full stop. Carmelo Anthony, full sentence, full stop, because that went up and down for us last week. It was good news, and then it was like not good news because the judge that got in there denied the appeal. Anyway, we're going to talk more about that.
He denied the retrial, right? Did he deny the appeal too?
I don't know. No. Okay. I do apologize. That's not correct. I just know that he denied something. Like we had a win when they changed the judge, and then the next thing I know, they were like, "Oh, we're not going to be able to move further with this. We have to do something else." So I don't know if it was an appeal or retrial. So I apologize. You probably know more than I do.
Well, I think it was the retrial, but the appeal is still on the table. So I don't know.
Okay, good.
I don't know.
Good, because we know that there is some missing evidence. I know that for
the stuff
sure.
that they already pointed out to get the judge recused to remove from the case it makes sense to me. So I'm just confused. But they were talking about the text back and forth, but they didn't show all the text either. So it's wild. Because I was watching Nick at night and she had a lot to say on that. But anyway, continue on with the list. Sorry.
No, these are just things that are happening, and this is not even the fullness of what we will discuss next week.
Right, this is the top 10.
There's some stuff happening in September. Jay-Z has a project coming out. There's some other things that we need to talk about, but just speaking on black topics, there's a lot of black lynchings happening, and we were just doing some research right before we started about how many people have been hanged, because we don't think these are suicides. We're just going to be honest with you. Black people do not hang themselves from trees. Okay, it's ridiculous. You know, and I understand that, like, you know, especially different AI will have you understand that, like, oh, you know, it's a common form of suicide, but not for blacks and not from trees.
And I even want to research if it's actually a common form of suicide involving the trees.
Well, not from trees, no. And the whites have a history, and I'm just telling you this based off of the research that I was doing on Google.
I can't even search
Google,
that. That sounds
Gemini.
crazy. I was about to search common forms of suicide, but I was like, that might make me look like I'm trying to commit.
Everybody, go ahead and listen to this prompt and search. Go ahead and ask ChatGPT or whatever how many people that are of black descent, right, have been found hanging in public spaces, hanging from trees in the last so often, like 2 to 5 years, because that is a fundamental, like, it is a part of our history that in America, and it's not something that's random. So, you know, it's not something that black people do generally. Just know that. Now, people have been known to, you know, suicidal people may hang themselves from, you know, ceilings and things like that. I don't want to get too, you know, into this. I'm no expert on this, but the CDC gives mortality statistics and, you know, ages and suicide rates and things like that. But black people are less like we're not statistically, Black people don't hang themselves in general, and certainly not from trees. And then I want everybody to go and figure out how many white people have been found hanging from trees. And how many others have been found hanging from trees? It's not normal. It's not a thing. It's not suicide. Like, it's not suicide, okay? Like, so whoever needs to do that investigation, let's get that underway.
Yeah,
Chop
that's why.
chop. Let's, let's just look. I was gonna say, let's send some trucks for that. Let's send some food trucks for that team. But anyway, we've covered that. Okay, so then, yeah, and then luckily, I think we have at least 1 week now where we haven't been getting sick from our foods, from the grocery stores. So Americans have been, having to encounter these food
I mean, there were
problems.
so many recalls. Like I even some potato chips were recalled, which I don't feel like I've ever heard any potato chips get recalled.
Crazy.
I was like,
That's
I had
crazy.
set a little thing in my ChatGPT to check to see if they like for new food recalls or whatever. So I learned something though, because some things were recalled for undeclared ingredients, and that just means that they had milk in it, but they didn't say that there was milk in it. So if you're allergic to milk, that's why they recalled it or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's a little less serious, even though it is serious if you got a peanut allergy and they didn't list that they didn't declare that there was peanuts in there. So, or wheat. So that's what that was. But let me just do my check for today. Any new recalls? Because this is crazy. I had to check my eggs.
While
I had to
you
take
doing
pictures
that,
of my
let me
eggs.
put this on the screen. This is something that I think is interesting, and I don't even know if it's a fact or not. But I'm just showing this man's Instagram. What's his name? Dexter Store. I don't know. Some white guy. Thank you, young man. He says Robert F. Kennedy Jr. testified in his divorce proceedings that he couldn't afford alimony because he was so brain damaged that he couldn't hold a job. Anyways, he is now the Secretary of Health and Human Services, and all our food is poisoned. Random facts from the internet, everyone.
Is
So
that
I
for
think that's
real?
interesting.
That's crazy.
We're just sharing what's on the internet. That's alleged. I don't know. I'm sharing somebody's content that I came across on the internet. I'm not sure if it's real or not.
I
It's
wonder
real
why
that
this says this. I just did another check and it says the main new human food recall is like, do we have to specify that it's
human
human food?
food. Now we're
Jamie's
oh God.
Jamie's Spanish Village jalapeno ranch dressing recall because it contains undeclared eggs. Shelter's Choice and Breeder's Edge feline milk replacers recalled August 26th because they have low inconsistent levels of several vitamins and minerals. It's cat food formula, not human food. Okay, so but they put it under the list of the
like. Do you need to be thinking about King? Do I
and
need
then
to be thinking about
alfalfa sprouts. So
Oh, I
anyway,
used to love those.
I'm about to see if I
Anyway,
can grow
look,
my own though.
it's a
It
lot
gotta be.
going on, but I implore you all to follow both of our all of our pages. We're somebody's cousins, maybe even yours. We're two Black millennials telling you like it is, alerting you to flagging things on the internet that you need to be paying attention to, along with a little sauce from us. You're welcome. But you need to go and follow reality TV and beyond. You need to follow Yes I'm a Unicorn, because we have lots of stuff to share in the meantime when we're not being your devoted cousins. We might even be your cousins watching right now, but maybe not.
Absolutely. And also
But
follow
look,
the Self Care Revolution podcast. We have 120 something days left, which is 4 months. You can do a lot in 4 months. So let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? Hydrate, nourish, move, rest, and reflect. Anyway.
hydrate, nourish, move, rest, and reflect. I was just trying to remember that on my short the other day, but I ended up linking your page. Hydrate, move, nourish, rest, and reflect. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, look, guys, that's it for us tonight, but we'll be back next week. We'll be covering some of these topics again, and we'll see what happens this week on the internet.
We'll see what happens, because who knows? It's 2026. Anything is possible. Okay?
Oh, my God. All right, y'all. See y'all next time. Peace, everybody.
Peace.